Today we're going to talk about a gun that, for whatever reason, YouTube absolutely hates, the CZ P10C. And I don't know why, but every time I make some content with this gun, YouTube demonetizes it. Because of that, I went ahead and I set up channel memberships. That is going to give people a great way to support the channel, as well as make it easier for me to not rely on those YouTube advertising dollars. As a paid member, you're going to get all of the content that I create early. Usually I'm working, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks ahead. So I'll have, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos sitting there complete, uploaded, and ready to go. As soon as those videos actually get uploaded, paid members will have access to them. If you like early access to content, but you don't want to pay for it, that's cool too. You can check the link down below, not just for that paid membership, but also for the Rumble channel. Content goes up pretty early on Rumble as well. Rumble doesn't hassle me about advertising the same way that YouTube does. So usually I go ahead and I upload everything to Rumble at the same time that I upload it to YouTube. The problem with Rumble is that there isn't a lot of viewership for the channel over there. So I don't know, it doesn't get a lot of traction. For the 47-ish people that actually watch the content on Rumble and the channel members on YouTube, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Before we get started, let's go ahead and feed that algorithm. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know, out of all of the pistols in the CZ lineup, what's your favorite? I really want to go ahead and add another CZ to the collection this year. I'm just not entirely sure which one. I really kind of want to see where you guys are at and what you want to see me bring to you. That way I'm actually making content you want to watch. So really, I'm an M&P guy. I bought the original M&P when it first released. I had the compact version when the 4-inch M&P 2.0 released. This guy here, this is my Floyds custom version of the M&P 2.0. When this came out, I sold both my other M&Ps to fund this, and I carried this for a very long time. It's extremely comfortable in my hand. It's accurate. It really checks a lot of those boxes that I would say need to be checked in order for it to be a gun that works for me personally. At the same time that I was looking into buying that M&P 2.0, a lot of people were talking about CZ's polymer lineup. And I did not take them very seriously. About 6 months ago or so, CZ did a pretty good price drop on the P10 lineup. I just so happened to be in my local gun store where they had the P10C optic ready version at a great price, so I had to pick it up. I was looking for something fresh and new to do some content with anyways, and I said, you know what, we're gonna try this thing out. Now, regardless of what any of my exes may say, I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. And in this case, the P10C, I was definitely wrong. Over the last 6-7 months that I've had it, it has quickly become one of my favorite polymer striker fired handguns. One of the things that I really like about the M&P is that super aggressive grip texture that it has. It really allows me to lock down on the gun and get a really good grip. The problem with that is twofold. First, when you carry those M&Ps inside the waistband, that grip texture will rub you raw over the course of the day. That's never a good thing. And the other problem is that it wears down fairly fast. I think after 6 months or so and 1,000 rounds or so, it's smoothed out quite a bit. It no longer rubbed the skin raw, and it has a little bit more of a slippy texture at that point. Now, the grip texture on the CZ P10C is incredible. I actually think that it's a little bit superior to what Smith & Wesson did with the M&P. It is aggressive without actually leaving a raw spot if I do carry this inside the waistband. And because of its design, it hasn't wore down at all. The spikes or whatever that create the texture, they're just the right shape and size that they haven't really wore down at all. So here I am several months later, and we're creeping up on 6,000 rounds, and it still has just as good of a grip as the day that I bought it. So I like that longevity factor. I went ahead and mounted the Holosun 507 comp on here. I really wanted to make this gun kind of ridiculous by using the biggest optic that I possibly could, and I really like the Holosun series. I've really abused the heck out of these over the years and had really great luck with them. The thing about the CZ though is that it does not come with any mounting plates for their optic system, which I guess is okay. You know, Smith & Wesson with their M&Ps, they have all those plastic plates that come with them. They're really terrible quality. I don't use those plastic plates on any of my Smith & Wessons. Instead, I get all my plates from C&H Precision. Their plates are great quality. They're made in the US. They come with screws. That's what I'm actually using here on the CZ. The finish that CZ is using on this gun is really good. I have put this in and out of a holster more times than I can count, both while at the range as well as dry fire practice at home, and there isn't a single scratch, scuff, or mar anywhere on it, so it's lasting really good. The P10C is extremely accurate. It's putting rounds downrange consistently exactly where I want them to go, and there's a couple things that factor into that. Now the barrel is extremely high quality, but the lockup is tight and precise, which is going to aid in your accuracy. The other thing though is the trigger, and I know a lot of people want to throw words out there like trigger snob when people start talking about the quality of a trigger. The reality though is that your trigger is important when it comes to accuracy. If the trigger pull is gritty or stiff or inconsistent, what's going to happen is you're going to get a little bit of pull in one direction or another. That pull is going to be small on this end, but when you get out 10 yards, 20 yards, and further, that can make a big difference. The CZ triggers, I feel like, are some of the best on the market. And as much as people talk about Canucks and how great their triggers are, I actually think CZs are better. That being said, I did go ahead and change over to the Apex trigger, not because there's anything wrong with the CZ, but the CZ trigger is good. The Apex is a little bit better. It is just slightly smoother and more consistent, but also I like the feel of the actual trigger shoe on my finger better than I do the CZ trigger. While we're talking about Apex, I've also added the Apex control set. So that is the slide release and mag release. Both of those are extended just enough to be slightly better than what you get with CZ, but not so much as to get in the way or cause issues when using the gun. It's little things like that that really help dial in a gun to my personal preference. I also recently added the TLR1 HLX to this bad boy. You know, I'm getting older. I've got to get every advantage I can get. You know, when it comes to grip, I've got to get advantages in my grip. My vision is not what it used to be, so obviously I need a good sighting system. And also, if we're being completely honest here, I'm a little bit night blind. So this gun is actually my primary bedside gun. This is the one that sits next to the bed while I sleep. And if something happens in the middle of the night, this is the one that I grab. And I need to be able to see what's happening in the house when I go see what that noise was. Is it the cat being rowdy and tearing up the house? Is it one of my kids sneaking in after curfew? Is it some sort of break-in? I don't know. But this TLR1 HLX will light up the entire room so I know what's going on without having to actually turn on the overhead lights. As an added bonus, that bit of extra weight at the end really helps with leveling out any muzzle rise that the gun has. Now, obviously, the CZ-P10C has a fairly low bore access, so it doesn't have a lot of muzzle rise or recoil. Also, it's 9mm. It's not like uncontrollable or anything, but it does help. If I'm daily carrying this, if I'm going to conceal carry it, I'll go with a smaller light. But as it sits as my nightstand gun, this is the configuration I go for. Another advantage that I like to add to my firearms is magwells. So this magwell and mag extension is by Floyds Custom Shop. I use their magwells on several of my guns. Not only do I have them on my M&P 2.0, but I also have 2 other M&Ps that I have them on, and 2 Hellcat Pros as well. I like the Floyds Custom Shop design. It is slim enough that it's not really going to be an issue for concealment, but also I have this nice little ledge down here which really helps my pinky get a good grip in there and get more leverage over the gun, which again helps mitigate any recoil or muzzle rise. Now by the end of today's range session, I will have had a full 6,000 rounds through this gun. Now I don't necessarily consider that as like a huge round count. I shoot a lot every year, so to me that's not really major. I've talked to other people that have 15 and 20,000 rounds through P10Cs. Me personally, with my nearly 6,000 rounds, I've never encountered a single issue with this gun. It's been ultra reliable. Never a single jam, no stovepiping, no failure to feed, no failure to extract. There's never been a light primer strike. I had a batch of ammo several months ago that had extremely hard primers. A lot of my other striker fired guns really struggled to shoot that ammo. This thing ate it up. That reliability is extremely important for any gun, but especially a gun that you're going to use as a bedside gun or potentially a carry gun. All right, guys, I did it. 6,000 rounds on the CZ P10C, totally out of ammo, and I just wanted to pop in here real quick and tell you about one of the target systems that I have set up here today. This is the Genesis target system by TA Targets. You can order these guys with all different upgrades and variations, but they come with target stand, target hanger, and some sort of target. What I chose is this reduced C-zone target. It's fairly small. It is roughly the same size as the chest area of an average sized human, which is probably a good sized target to train with a gun that you plan to carry. A target this size keeps me really honest with how good my aim is, or days like today, how bad my aim is. But I can't really lie to myself as far as how good I'm doing. I'm either neutralizing a threat or having a real bad day, one or the other, and this target's gonna let me know. I've got a handful of different videos that I'm producing right now going over different target systems that I use on a regular basis, the Genesis being included there, where I'll go a little bit more in depth. Keep an eye out for those in the very near future. But for now, you know what? I'm gonna pack it up and get out of here because I'm out of ammo, it's cold, and it's really starting to rain. So that's it, I'm done out here for today. The CZ P10C just has so much going for it. I wish that I would have bought one sooner. I'm glad that I bought one after the price drop because I'm kind of cheap, but I'm really happy with it. There are so many polymer striker fired guns out on the market right now, and I feel like the P10C is probably the most underrated polymer striker fired gun on the market. They don't get enough attention, and I think more people should be carrying these. If you're doing research because you want to pick up one of these guns, if you're on the fence about whether or not it's going to be a good buy, I would say this is one of the top polymer guns that's out there. Like I said before, I've always been an M&P guy, but I hate to admit it, I actually like the P10C just a little bit more than I do my M&P. I will, of course, keep hammering rounds downrange through this gun, and as the round count gets bigger and bigger, I will bring updates, but I don't see anything changing in the future as far as my outlook on this gun in a negative direction. I think if anything, my views on this gun will just be reaffirmed the more that I shoot it. That's going to be it for today, guys. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you back here real soon.